fireworks. It just felt like this doesn't stop. I was so exhausted by it, like Tuesday night. I'm like, I just want to go home and go to sleep. Like no more.
I I am fortunate. Well, I've made a few just planted my flag in the earth
Okay.
things, and one of them is no parades, no more parades. I hate
What?
parades. A
What do
total
you
waste of.
mean?
I hate them. They're total waste of time. They're insanely boring. The kids don't actually like them. You just sit out there and sweat, and it's like, oh wow, there goes the guy that runs the Chevy dealership. Oh, neat. There's a marching band. Well, oh wow, the 10U baseball all stars are there. Why would I care about this? This is so boring. Let's do something actually fun.
You're a
Parades are
communist.
stupid. I'm not a communist. I've done so many parades. I've been in so many parades. I gave them a lifetime of opportunity to entertain me, and not once did it happen. So we're out on parades. No parades. I don't do it.
No, I'm still in on parades. Sounds like you're out on some weak parades. You need to up your parade
JD,
game.
Oh,
you don't have a
oh,
JD doesn't have kids, so I'm surprised he's in on parades right now
he's
because
not in on parades. He's cosplaying. He
I
doesn't do
wouldn't
parades.
go. If I didn't have little kids, I wouldn't go. My kids are young. I think they're younger than yours, I believe, and they still
Yeah.
like the parades. But yeah, I think we got a few more years, and hopefully they'll be because they don't even give you good candy. It's not like Halloween where they give you some good stuff. They throw
No.
like like chewy things and hard things, and it's
Yeah.
thumbs
It's
down.
all it's all grandma's candy. The stuff, the little strawberry ones that aren't even for sale. They just start
Yeah,
teleporting grandparents' house. Oh wow, the fire truck's going at siren. This. It's just.
a 5-year-old
It's
to get
not.
pumped about that. Or Matt, I
They
had
will.
Max's kid on. I don't know, one of the parades Monday, Tuesday. He was so jacked about the fire engine.
Yeah. My son was into like the earth and like states and stuff at that time, so he kind of missed the truck stage. Okay, but yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a little different because we were traveling on Sunday, flying here to Pennsylvania, and then which is where I am. I should have mentioned that here on
Oh
the
yeah,
farm. You may hear some cows moo or roosters cockadoodle
there you
doing,
go.
but sorry about that. But it's better than what's going on inside. I can assure you that. But yeah, no, it was a fun Fourth of July. Do you set off fireworks at your place, Ben?
You know what? I did not. I did not this year. I am a big firework guy, but I did not do any of my own this year.
I like fireworks. Fireworks are cool. Um,
Yes,
they Katie's father went pulled out all his stops this year. It was a wild show here
because if you said
in
you
the
were out on
farm.
fireworks, we were gonna have to kick you out of America.
Yeah, I'm fine with fireworks. I find them entertaining and interesting. But yeah, parades. Well, what's the chat? You know what? Let me pull up. I've got to have some support on the
I
parades.
I mean I don't totally
I have.
disagree with you. If my kids weren't young, I got your back on that one.
Okay. I feel like my kids aren't that into it either. Okay. Um. All right. Sorry. All right.
We got
Back
we got a
to
few more years.
yeah. We got a few more years. All
Hmm.
right. Let's keep moving. All right. A few little things happen. One, James Green randomly came out of retirement. This was not on the wrestling bingo card for me. I did not know this was on. I saw this man in Big Tents. He was on crutches, uh, and now he's back. He's coming out of retirement. Ben, what were your thoughts when you saw this?
Also didn't see it coming. He had the surgery I had on our hips. He's feeling pretty good. I know we kind of talked about it a few different times. And he was impressed with how fast he got. 'Cause I want to say he's less than a year out from it. I think he was impressed with how fast he healed and how good he felt. That being said, he had a good job that he seemed like he really enjoyed. He really did seem like he liked working with the kids and what he was doing. And so to come out at this time because we have to. James Green is like case in point of a guy who doesn't have a weight class. He is elite at 70, but he's not as good at 74, 65, and we're going in the Olympic year. So it's not like we're 2021 and he can go 70, 70, 70, and then decide the last year. It's like, well, next year he's got to go 74, 65. So because of that, I thought the time was odd. And then obviously he's not young. He is 33, which is, not super old, but it's not super young either.
Man, I can't believe he's 33. That's
Right?
crazy.
Am I
Are you
wrong
sure?
on that? I'm
No,
pretty
I
sure
don't
I'm
think
right.
he's. No, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
I'm sorry, he's
uh,
30. I just ate James. I apologize. I aged you right there. He's 30.
yeah, yeah, that makes more sense. Well, I kind of have the opposite take that this is the only year that makes sense in that while yes, the weight class thing for sure will always be a thing, but it's kind of like the last thing for him to to do, right? Like it's the one thing that he's probably like, man, I never got on an Olympic team. I never really even had a good run at the trials. Let me try one last time and see if I can do that. I've made umpteen world teams. I've got a lot of medals, but I really want to just give it one last crack. And I wonder if he's just like through the surgery and everything, I wonder if he like got smaller sort of
That's what
naturally.
I was just thinking. Yeah.
I will say it's just, to pull out the Nomad, standing next to him, he does seem like, he wasn't as big as I recall, but assume because he, not a full training thing. So I don't know. And I'm also assuming that his intention is to go 65 kilograms once more. But I don't know that to be a fact. It's just an assumption that he would want to do that, which maybe he is going 74. Maybe it's like he didn't want to go 74 when JB was there. And
well, JB might be going up. Yeah. Wait. Has JB explicitly stated he's going to 86?
That he's not going to 86. He's explicitly stated. He's
Okay,
74.
So then he is 74. So then what you say doesn't make sense then.
So what I mean is they were both at Nebraska during the portion of their runs, and that would have been sort of strange for them both to go same weight. Maybe he just saw like, man, 65 is wide open. Nick Lee just made the team. He's got to be thinking that there's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Kind of my initial thought was like, this is probably not going to be a relevant contributor to the trials, but maybe.
Christian, the other thing that is very relevant here, and I don't know what he's making at USA Wrestling. I'm sure it's public and we could look it up, and I'm sure he's being paid relatively well for what he's doing.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? These RTCs are starting to pay real money, and maybe it'll go away with the NIL thing because these are spending more money on NIL, but the amount of money they're paying is like, shit, I might come out of retirement for if you guys pay me that much. For real.
Yeah. I think that is certainly a thing.
Like for something you really want to do, for like, if you really enjoy wrestling and you want to wrestle, and now, back in the day, they're paying you $12,000 a year, $18,000 a year, and now they're actually paying like a livable wage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure he's being compensated well. I feel like for him, it's like, I can take this run, and on the other side of that, I'll be able to get a job relatively quickly. Maybe get the same job back if he liked it well enough. I don't know. But hold on.
Then he's got to be. I'd have to assume if he's doing this, that he has to be going through 2028. No one's going to do this for just a year. You're not going to give him a job just for 1 year, right? You'd have to like, hey, I want to go there. I want to do this for 5 years. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to do it. I'm going to quit my job that I enjoy, that I like. I'm going to go move for 1 year, and then after that, figure it out. Like, that doesn't seem like a good plan.
Well, what if also?
I don't think it's about Olympics.
What do you think?
I think you said he accomplished everything he set out to. I don't think he did. I think he wants to be a world champion. He didn't do that. He was a medalist, 2-time medalist, but not a champion. I honestly wouldn't even be super surprised if he just went 74 for Olympic trials in the hopes that there's a 70 kg non-Olympic weight worlds. And like, that's really the main focus.
Wow.
I think he healed up, after taking 2 years off, and was like, I think I'm now in my athletic prime. I feel better than I did when I won my last medal. It would be a shame not to use these years of my athletic ability to try and achieve winning a world gold medal, which
I like that idea.
Wouldn't necessarily mean he goes through 2028. Maybe he comes back for 2024 and goes, I was wrong. And then, I don't know what he would do after that. Go find another coaching position, probably. It seemed like he liked his coaching position at USA Wrestling. It didn't seem like it was I don't like coaching type of thing. Just I want to use these last several years of athletic ability because I'm going to be coaching for the next insert X years of my life.
That sounds right to me.
Man, I just had the total, opposite gut reaction. I was like, one last run, 65, give it a shot, and then move on. But he knew he wanted to be back in Nebraska to do that run. So we'll find out, right? Or we need to probably talk to him at some point. David Bray is going to camp right now. I think he's there today. So we should ask him to ask him.
And James is finishing out this summer in Colorado Springs as coach of the U17 and U20 world teams, and then he will move to Nebraska. I believe he said that.
Okay, that's cool. I was wondering about that as well. Okay,
that's a huge position to fill for somebody. I'm sure there will be a lot of highly touted candidates that want it.
Yeah, it's a. I think it'd be a sweet job, honestly.
So in 2020, the national freestyle director, because I cannot find the 2022 or was $139,000 was that was the pay for that position.
Yeah, I got sent the amount. It's a good living, I would say.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I don't know. And is this? You think about the developmental job? Is it? I mean, when you think about the college coaching rigor, which is man, it's so year round. Is this one of the better coaching jobs? Because the summers are super intense, obviously, but during the regular season, I feel like it's probably a lot more reasonable schedule. But I don't know.
The only thing is, I feel like I would feel like, and I mean, I'm not with James every day, so I don't know, but I do know a couple things. I know is that there's not a lot of full-time athletes with him, right? So as the director of development, that would be the one thing that I would miss, right? So I get to work with these AWA kids pretty much year round, right? They might go to a camp or here or there a few times, but I pretty much am with them 12 months a year, and there's a lot of them. And he's not really doing that with very many kids at all. And I think that is fun. And then we're talking about extra development. That's obviously really important towards development. And so maybe it's more like a bureaucratic, that type of job. Maybe he doesn't like that part of it or something. Maybe he wants to be in the room more. And if he went and wrestled and then he went back to college coaching, likely he's going to be, the second or third coach. And those guys are generally in the room more, doing less paperwork, bureaucratic type stuff.
Yeah, that could definitely be a thing. That's, the most fun part of coaching is building those relationships and seeing them achieve. And you don't quite get that with this job because they all have coaches. They don't live in Colorado, etc. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Okay, James Green Radio Live. Next up, just a brief point here. Austin Gomez to the Cliff Keen Wrestling Club. We had not talked about that. I can't remember if I alluded to this on the show, but this is what I thought.
I had heard he was going to Iowa State, but you definitely did not tell us this. You didn't tell me this off air either.
Yeah. So what's going to be interesting here is right now it's just Cliff Keen Wrestling Club. But two things. One, Austin has another year. Two, Michigan 149, Chance Lamer's gone. Three, he's going to watch them compete all first semester, What
do you mean watch? Just because he'll be there or what?
I'm just saying he's going to watch them and he's going to see a Michigan duel and he's going to be like, man, he's going to get the itch. This is my prediction. I don't know. I don't know this.
Well,
he's going to get the itch. Sean Bormet's going to talk him into it, and then we might get one last run with Gomez. Do not write it off. Do not write it off.
Would he have to be in the portal, or is he a graduate, so it doesn't matter? Or why would he be able to do that, Christian?
Because basically anyone can transfer at any point in time, it seems.
Funny.
That's my. Maybe he would have to go in the portal at some point to do that, but I think he could find a way. When did Suriano go in the portal for Michigan? Because that was a long process too.
Late. You're right.
That was later in the thing, so I don't think it's something where you got to go in the portal now or anything like that. I think it could take its course, but
Nick Suriano entered the transfer portal on July 21st.
Oh, okay. And he didn't announce till after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Man, would that be so crazy if Sean Bourmet pulled 5 All-Americans from other teams to wrestle on his team? That would be like the most insane thing ever.
Yeah, and almost all of them Big Ten, other
Oh
than
my
Griffith.
God. That is so crazy.
This man Sean Bourmet is a menace.
I mean, the other thing Christian I was thinking about was, and actually because I thought about this, he tweeted maybe it was Pan Am's. I don't recall what tournament it was, but he made 65 kilograms, and 65 kilograms is 143. He said something like,
Mhm.
"Wow, that felt really easy." And part of me said, "Oh wait, is he insinuating that he's going to wrestle 141 pounds next year?" Because that's kind of what I thought when I heard that. I was like, "Oh, if 143 is easy, does that mean 141 is in the cards?"
Yeah, that was the insinuation there. I partially wonder if after his performance, which he really wrestled really poorly,
Yeah, he
if
did.
he's like, yeah, I made the weight, but did not go well. So yeah, I don't know what that would mean, but they could certainly use him. It would be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that'd be, yeah, they could.
Other international news, Russia looking more and more like they're going to be in. They had their nationals and they're going to have special wrestle offs for Sajalayev and Sidikov, the 2 Olympic champions at 74 and 97 kilograms. They'll be wrestling off the Russian national winners at PWL, and
What's
they've
PWL
submitted,
again? That's the Russian Pro League.
yeah, Professional Wrestling League or something like that,
Love it.
but in
Creative
Russian.
name.
Yeah, and so it's looking more and more like we'll see Russia and Belarus at the World Championships in Serbia in September.
Wow. Okay. And that would that hold true? Because this is relevant to me. Would that hold true for juniors and cadets as well?
I thought they all were already like said, hey, the younger, as long as they're not like in the military or whatever, can do
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
I thought they got the first like blessing, and then
But I
it's
don't
like
think they
seniors.
wrestled at Euros. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Yeah, well, they're having a hard time getting visas to different places. I know that's a big challenge for them. They
Uh,
can't just go everywhere. And I don't know where Euros were. Maybe
I don't know
they'd
either.
be easy,
But
but
they
I think
definitely were not
Serbia.
at Euros.
Yeah,
Okay.
With I think Cadet Worlds, I think they're planning on being there, but they already started going through anybody associated with the military in terms of like coaching staff cannot come because obviously anybody 15, 16, 17 is not associated with the military yet.
do not come. All right. So that'll be exciting. No official word yet if they'll be there, but
Yeah,
looking more and more.
UWW still has to allow them in. But Serbia, it's if you want Russia there, Serbia is a good place to do it versus somewhere else in Europe.
But something from the chat. Been asking training with Robbie Lawler's opponent Nico. How dare him? Is this
Oh
true, Ben?
man, the guy was in town. I don't exactly remember what the connection was, but he came to Rufus for the last month. He has to work out. So of course I said I love working out. So I said, yes, I'll work out with you. Of course I
You
will.
don't work out.
I love working out. I particularly love, although my body doesn't love it, like my body wants to wrestle like 2 or 3 days a week, wrestle or grapple. I would love to do like 5 or 6, but I start getting too beat up if I do that. So yes, I did work out with him. He was a very nice guy. We had a lot of fun. Um, but I have no ill will towards Robbie Lawler, as I never have.
Yeah, right. I watch. You've choked this man. There's ill will.
That's what happens. You're supposed to do that when you get in the cage.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But yeah,
Um.
there's a really fun fight card this weekend, and we have one Bo
Oh
Nickel
yeah.
he goes in the news because he got a new opponent, and they kind of pulled the guy, I want to say off the streets, but they pulled him out of the smaller organizations, and Bo is a gigantic favorite in the fight.
I read that he is the biggest favorite in UFC history.
I read that also, but I feel like I don't feel like that's true. I feel like there was a Rousey fight, so I would have to
Oh yeah.
research it. I feel like there was a Rousey fight, like maybe the Betch Correa, where she was like something just totally ridiculous. But yeah, he's a big favorite.
Man, it's just absurd. So this is the one thing about MMA that I don't like is like, man, how long do we have to wait to find out how good Bo is?
Yeah, it's well, honestly, he's moving faster than a lot of people do.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Pico is one of the ones that said like, "Hey, I don't know how," and it obviously did not work out well for him. But he said, move me along very, very quickly, and he was fighting really highly ranked guys. But usually it takes a while, which, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's frustrating, and that's one of the things I say to wrestlers is like, try not to waste time because it is going to take a significant amount of time. Even if you look at like a Henry or a Daniel, guys who had gigantic profiles going into the sport, it still takes you a while to get to the top just because you got to schedule fights. There's going to be 3 to 6 months in between a fight. Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to pull out. Like these things are going to happen, So you got to kind of get cracking.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously very excited for Bo's fight. It sounds like he will have victory, hopefully, in
Yeah.
the hopefully get some tougher opponents. Hopefully they don't pull out. His
Yeah.
opponent apparently had a wrist injury.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so good luck to Bo. And who else is fighting? It's a big card.
Well, there's
This,
two title fights. So it's Yair Rodriguez and Volkanovski. They're unifying
oh
the
my gosh.
145 title, and then Moreno is fighting. What the hell's Moreno fighting? I'm blanking on who he's fighting right now. But
Alexandria Pontea.
oh yeah, yep, Pantoja. Oh yeah, and then Drusius Duplessis and Robert Whitaker. Yeah, there's some good ones.
Cool. Okay.
Oh,
Next topic. What show on it? Oh, I know our next topic. If you guys have not watched the latest No Sad Stories on Flow about Ian Malcheski, please, please, please check it out. It's as good as anything we've made. Sincerely, very inspirational. Ian, a little bit about Ian. If you haven't seen the trailers or anything, he was wrestling at Akron Cadet World Team Trials. He's a Fargo All-American and finalist. Like he was certainly on the trajectory. He got paralyzed in a match. He was winning, about to tech the guy, and from there, nearly died and had to go through all kinds of surgeries and rehab. And he goes to the University of Miami. Now he's in Harvard Law School. Like just incredible, incredible mindset. So, so you want to say surprising, a rare mindset, considering what he's been through. Highly encourage you to check it out. It's interesting. He's friends with and teammates with Carter Storaci. They were training partners up in Erie, Pennsylvania. Incredible story, incredible dude. Please, please, please check it out. Many of you already have, but if you haven't, stamp of approval. It's awesome.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
You,
I watched the first two; they're great. I haven't watched this one yet.
yeah, I feel like this is a really really good one. Ian is a little older. Like Dunia is like a freshman in high school, and Adonis was younger, early in high school, and now you've got Ian, who's just more mature. He's older. He's done a little bit more as well. So he really helps it a lot. Appreciate Avery said he's watched it 2 times.
Nice.
I watched it on the plane after my grandma's funeral, which is not a good idea because I was very in my feelings on this plane.
Very
But it was
emotional.
great, very emotional for sure. But it was awesome. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already. It's on the homepage. It's on. Just go to FloWrestling and films are right there, and you can check them out.
Nice.
Okay, we're just knocking them down. We're
Tell me
on a
about
week,
these.
but we're
Tell me about these gambling rules, Christian, because I thought this was because it says on or after May 2, but I feel like you brought up the Iowa State gambling thing before May 2, and then the other thing is this has been going on forever. Like I feel like you brought this up many months ago. When do we get some information on it?
it's a great question. I'm so surprised we haven't heard anything. I'm so surprised the names haven't gotten out. I've heard the names, but don't know if they're for sure, so I'm not gonna say anything. But it looks like the NCAA is kind of laying out their updated rules on how they're going to penalize these athletes, which definitely be different from previous punishments the NCAA has levied against gambling. In that video I did I don't know, I guess a month or two ago now, I mentioned the Virginia Tech football player who bet on an NBA game like $30 and missed like 7 games, which is
so
obviously
crazy.
over half the season. But you look here at they are sort of tiering their punishment based on how much money is gambled. So like if you gamble 200 or less, it's sports wagering rules and prevention education. So
There
like
we go.
basically nothing. So this guy who had to sit 7 games in this scenario would just get, prevention education. $200 to $500 is a loss of 10% of a season. $501 to $800 is 20% of the season. More than 800 is loss of 30% of the season of eligibility. And all these people have to do the what I'll call the driver's education course that you get when you get the speeding tickets.
There is a big caveat though to this.
Hit me.
It's
Oh yeah, if you bet on your own stuff.
if you
Yeah,
not even your own stuff, your own school.
Ooh,
That's fair though. That's fair
Yeah.
because I mean, like you guys are all the athletes are, they're usually just studying one place together. They're dining one place together. They know, the things about your school, so you should not be able to do that.
yes.
But it's like death penalty. It's not a season. You are done with college sports.
I actually
Potentially-
don't hate that.
You potentially face permanent loss of all collegiate eligibility in all sports, is how they worded it. Potentially. There's the potentially in there. So, there might be a caveat of, if a University of Iowa wrestler bet on Caitlin Clark in Iowa to win the women's basketball championship, maybe they're like, well, you bet on them to win. It doesn't seem like you had any knowledge of something specific that you used. Okay, we're only going to take away a season. I assume that's what that means. Whereas obviously if you're like, hey, I know whoever the quarterback is injured and not going to play, then I bet against Iowa. That's probably termination.
Yeah, I actually don't hate that. I think kids should be able to gamble in college, but yeah, gambling on your own school because you probably have some information, probably not kosher.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm with that too. I think you bet on your school and and first of all, I'll mention this. All these kids know. They all know the rules. This is like there's not like, oh, I know it. They freaking knew. The lengths that these schools go to make sure they don't do something like this are extensive, and kids, young adults, whatever they are, they're foolish at times. They make foolish decisions, and yeah, you want to bet on an NFL game, all right, it's different. But if you're betting on your school or against your school, you play the game, so that's
I actually think you kind of should be able to bet on your team.
That's just a little extra motivation.
Well, yeah, the Pete Rose thing, like he bet on himself. Like that's awesome. He should bet on himself. I don't see the issue.
That's the Floyd Mayweather strategy right there.
Yeah, if you're betting against yourself or betting against your team to like cover the spread or something, now we got issues here. But like you put money on yourself, you should be able to do that to win.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Wait, no, I don't agree.
It's a slope.
Why not?
Just stay. No, you gotta stay away from it.
Why not? Why not? If you think I'm gonna win and the odds makers don't have enough faith in you, you have more faith in yourself, you should be able to bet on that.
We have to just check on every bet and see where it's placed now.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, they're doing that. Yes, they can do that. That's easy, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
Well, as long as bets are placed online.
Yeah.
Which I assume is how these athletes were caught.
Yeah.
Through apps that you have to enter your identity into. Because if you go into like an actual sports book, it's not as easy to track.
Yeah.
Name and they include their names and social security numbers. It's like pretty easy
That's what I'm saying. It's easy to track. Yeah, yes, you should not be able to bet against yourself. But
Nah,
I think you should be able to bet. If you think if you're gonna whoop someone, go for it.
nah. Get it
DP
out.
doesn't want
You
Pete
want?
Rose in the Hall of Fame either.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. That's
Hater. Well,
nonsense.
then you're being hypocritical right now.
No, I don't think you should be allowed to do it, but I don't think it should like exclude you from. And we should have to pretend like you weren't one of the greatest hitters of all time. That's dumb. Two things are totally separate.
But okay, but am I correct? Pete Rose only bet on himself. Like he didn't bet against
That's
himself.
what he claims.
Well, do we know or not?
No, we don't know.
Well, he had to go through
It's
bookies back then, so
Sure.
yeah, it's
Oh.
not it. Yeah, he wasn't on DraftKings.
Maybe he was betting with Bitcoin, so we could go back and follow his transactions.
He was.
In
He
1970s.
was. Yep. 1970s Bitcoin, pre-internet. Pete was ahead of the curve in so many areas.
Mhm.
Yeah, all those people should be in. The steroid users should all be in.
I agree.
All the
Hey, you're gonna love this, Christian. You know what my wife had me do last week? She wanted to
No.
watch Rookie of the Year. Can you believe
Great
this?
one.
I
Great
knew
movie.
you'd love it. I knew you'd love it. But we'll watch it again. There's one part where they have real baseball players where he's throwing against real baseball players. Okay, like and it's just like a quick their face. You know, like where the different hitters come up. Go look at how small Barry Bonds is. So that's probably what 92 or 93 or something like that.
Yeah, 93, 94, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God,
Bro.
he's so tiny.
Bro, he's
all those
so
guys.
small.
Like, look at Ken Griffey Jr. as a rookie too versus how he ended his career.
Yeah.
Well, you stop with King Griffey. He was clean. But
I'm just saying, like size wise, just a scrawny 18-year-old coming into the league.
But that was Barry, like height of his powers, and then well, so we thought, and then he hit another level when he got on the juice and became like the biggest freak of all baseball players. Yeah, he was so lean with the Pirates there. That's funny.
And now jiu-jitsu blue belt.
Blue belt.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's so funny. Hey, listen, there's a lot of synergy with his previous antics in the current sport he's now spending time in. So he said, "Wait, no USADA testing?
Wait,
sign me up."
Gordon Ryan's just talking about it. I mean, I'm sure you guys covered this because you guys have a full grappling site. Gordon Ryan said it ain't illegal, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, he's
Straight
like,
up.
that's what he's been saying. I mean, he says it's not illegal, and it's true. They don't test for it in a lot of the things, but like IBJJF, it is illegal. So there are aspects of jiu-jitsu where you can't do steroids. This is what happened. These guys, it's so embarrassing. They'll like make the finals of events, and then they'll find out USADA's there, and they just literally like leave the finals, like just and like ghost, and like they'll be like,
the IBJJFs.
Yeah, so like Cyborg and Wagner Hoche are like pretty credentialed guys. Like they make the finals of this tournament, and then USADA's there, and they literally just like leave the tournament and flee the scene and don't so they'll be like Roberto Abreu, Matt won, and they're like calling for him, and they don't tell anyone they left. They just literally flew back home. Then they put some Instagram posts like, "I'm sorry I could not compete in my finals. I had a travel conflict or something like that."
No, is that real?
100%. These guys think they're like so smart. Like, oh wow, is that why you left? Cyborg, who's 40 some years old and looks like
hold on. With USADA, if we're doing it the real USADA way, like if you're a UFC fighter and you're set up for USADA, if they show up to test you that day and you are not at your whereabouts. So I don't know. When I was doing it in 2019.
No, Ben, this is what happened. Yeah, they didn't get away with it. They just like avoided the testing.
You have 3 missed tests. So you have 3 missed tests. But then you are suspended once you have 3 missed tests.
They got several year suspensions for this. Because they caught up with them down in Florida, I think, and made them test there, and then they all, of course, were.
Got it. Because it's a whereabouts violation, so you actually get 3 of them. So if you're not where they say, and so when I was in 2019, which maybe this is kind of against the surveillance state that I usually don't like, but they had a phone tracking so they could see where you were. Which but it would be so much easier because on your whereabouts, you literally had to fill out where you were going to be like all the freaking time. And
Mhm.
like in 2008, if you had to update it, you had to like fax them your update. It was freaking preposterous, you know. So you have to go find a fax machine and tell them, oh, on this day, this month, I'm going to be somewhere else, right? And then in 2019, you could kind of like you could use the app to update it, you know. But then if you enabled the following, then you didn't have to update anything. They could just because they would know where you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cyborg fled the scene, and then he tested positive for
Oh my god,
exogenous
that's hilarious.
testosterone and metabolites. So he got a 3-year ban. What this one guy get? This one guy had a crazy stack. Hold on. It was like yeah, I can't even read all this stuff. Tren, which is like the big one.
Yeah.
Ben, you're looking kind of cut. You were doing your mental Monday, man. You were looking sort of maybe it was angle, but your shoulders were looking big.
You started it showed up at my house on Monday.
You're kidding.
Are you still in
Oh
the pool?
no, you started can't test me. Get out of here.
Uh, they can't
No,
touch you.
let's see. Well, no, I'm retired. So USADA will not show up at my house. That's probably like the number one reason I retired as fast as possible because I'm like, the USADA protocol is so annoying where they can just show
Mm.
up whenever you want and they'll be early in the morning or you'll be doing something. They'll be like, stop what you're doing. You got to come pee in this cup. And you're like, this is so annoying. Like I was literally in the middle of something, you know? No. So as soon as I retired, I canceled that.
He canceled his USADA subscription.
If you're ever on a USADA subscription and you realize you will want to cancel as soon as possible, even if you're not using.
Yep. Yep. All right, I want to talk about this because I thought this was weird. This out of nowhere tweet from it's from the Go for Wrestling Twitter, but it's
Oh, I
from
got an opinion on this.
I have an opinion too, but I think let's just get so the Minnesota president, Mark Coyle, puts out this statement about Gable. Gable's a generational talent. He lists all his accolades, blah, blah, blah. The two-time High Trophy winner, Big Ten Medal of Honor recipient, is the most entertaining athlete in collegiate sports. True. And we're thrilled about the possibility of being able to watch him compete once again as a Gopher. This, to me, it smells a little. I don't know if it's not desperate, but like, I don't. It sounds like they're worried about Gable leaving the university and competing elsewhere. And this seems like I don't know, a gesture that's a little more. It's pretty transparent.
I would second that sentiment. And listen, I don't know. Maybe you live under a rock, Christian Piles. There's definitely a chance of that. We're not sure. I mean,
Who's
I've
under a
been
rock?
hearing the rumors. You're under a rock, you're under a farm. I don't know where the hell you are, but I've been hearing some rumors. Now we don't discuss those rumors on this program, but I've been hearing some pretty strong rumors from some pretty solid sources. We're not allowed to discuss those unless you start asking me some questions, and maybe I'll answer, maybe I won't. I don't know. And so, yes, I think they know that there's chances that um, he ventures elsewhere for his last year of eligibility, and they're trying obviously to keep him. Which, man, it just feels right that he stays at Minnesota. He is like the face of the Minnesota program. He's from Minnesota. It feels like he should stay there, and I think the AD is trying to make it happen.
Yep. This is the president of the school, I believe. And
What? I thought it was AD. Are you kidding me?
hold on, Mark Coyle.
He's the
Oh
AD.
no, he's the AD. Sorry, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, factually, those rumors are 100% true.
Okay.
There's 100% reach outs happening. There's big numbers, and factually, they're being considered. No doubt in my mind. So yeah, but man, it's sort of I thought it was interesting. I thought the timing was different. And you know what? Maybe this is something where maybe this is the new nature of college sports too, where it's like, man, you got to do more. I don't know what the word is, promotion or elevating of the athletes. I mean, it's good for Gable for sure.
Yeah.
And if
But
they
you put something else in the doc here, which I was not privy to or I was not aware of. I didn't see this guy. I don't know if you want to bring it up on this, but the Darren Heitner tweet. Did you put this in here, Christian?
I know that was James.
I did.
JD. I mean, it essentially says that the states are saying, "Hey, NCAA, you can't look at if schools are paying, right? Because the NCAA rule says you're not allowed to offer NIL in relation to an athlete attending your institution." And this is saying that this state, and then if you go through the thread, it's saying many other states are enacting the same type of thing where they're saying, "Hey, NCAA, get lost. You can't investigate the schools." So then that's saying, well, this rule that the NCAA is trying to make doesn't actually work. There is actually no rule here, is what that's saying to me.
Yeah, I don't know how they can do that. Like, this is not, I'm not caping up for the NCAA, but if you have I don't know, whatever, a private organization and you run it how you want to run it, why, and you can't enforce your policies
Yeah, I mean,
because the state says so?
read through the
Like,
legalities of it, but it seems like, I mean, honestly, probably what they're worried about, or what someone is probably trying to push forward, is that this is just going to be a waste of taxpayers' money. This is NCA is, I don't believe they're are they federal or are they private, Christian? The NCA. Either way,
private, I would imagine.
the state institutions are public institutions that are funded by taxpayer money. So if the NCAA is in all these lawsuits wasting taxpayer money, they're probably saying that's effing stupid. Just let them do whatever the hell they want to do. I'm guessing that's what's happening.
I agree with that. I don't like it involving taxpayer money. I feel like the burden should be on the NCAA to
So now we just
cover
need a
that.
salary cap. We just need people to say what everyone's getting paid, and then I'm cool with it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know what the ripple. I mean, it just sounds like more and more stuff's just gonna get more wide open
Yes.
with the NIL. And this to me says we will certainly not know the information unless it's disclosed by the athletes or the organization.
Yes.
So less transparency. So this is not going probably in the direction you were hoping for, if that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I would like more transparent. I'm cool with guys getting paid, and I did say it was against the rules, and it does make it a little less fun that, really there's three big players right now, and those three big players are Michigan, Penn State, and Iowa, who are scooping up a lot of people. I mean, we talk about Michigan just got 4 All-Americans with the potential of 5. Iowa scooped up a few huge names, and we've heard them making other offers, and then Penn State got Truex and Nagao. So yeah, I mean, it's not
And
quite fun.
Mitchell.
I actually don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure Mitchell had told me if he got paid. I don't think he did. I swear on everything. I don't lie. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
I just meant that they got him. I didn't
They
mean
did get
that
him,
was,
yeah, but
yeah.
not with. I mean, those other people all to my understanding, it feels like we either heard the offers, and I know with Mitchell that not to be the case, which maybe I should have told his ass to demand some more money. Maybe that would have been a good advice on my part. What do you think?
He sounds,
I told him.
yeah. No, I'll let him do it. If he wants, that's what he wants, and he can get it.
Maybe I should have. Well, I mean, the next to be the next obvious step is high school kids demanding more money, because it doesn't appear that they're getting offered a whole bunch.
I saw some little league club is like paying if you win like Tulsa and Reno
I thought that was
Worlds
a
and others.
joke. Are we sure this is not a joke? That's why I didn't want to comment on it.
I don't know. The person who sent it to me seemed to think it was legit. And it wasn't like an absurd amount of money. It was like $100 or $200. Like, wasn't a lot, which made it more believable. It'd been funnier if it was like, if it was a joke, it'd be way funnier if it was like, oh, you get $3,000, $5,000 for winning a tournament. It's like sort of realistic.
But when you think about so I looked at it. I don't recall. I recall it was smaller amounts of that. But if you were to have a really good kid who won a lot of stuff, and you were to add it up, then it would be like you're losing like $3,000 to $5,000 a year or something. If you add them all up on the really good kids, that's not going to pencil for a youth club.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, I know, but that's why if it was a joke, you would want to put
Bigger
a higher
numbers,
amount that
sure.
you're not going to pay. And they put
Yeah.
smaller, which maps to that. Bro, if Caleb Piles found out he could get money for winning tournaments, he would reach a level of insanity I don't even want to think about. He's too crazy. All right, you want to do some questions?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. At the beginning of the year, if you were told all of these would become true, which would shock you the most? One, Spencer Lee takes 6 at NCAAs with no injury. 2, Burroughs doesn't make the world team. 3, Zane Richards makes 57-kilogram spot.
Well, I think this is obvious to me because two of these things actually happened, and one, I'm gonna say one didn't. Spencer Lee taking 6 with no injury didn't happen. He did injury default out of the next 2 matches. And because he does not communicate clearly, I don't know how bad that injury was or if it was a really, really serious thing. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that he did, in fact, have an injury since he defaulted 2 matches.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, if he had won, he would have wrestled.
Yeah, but so taking 6 with no injury to me would say he actually went on the mat and he lost 3 matches in a row, right? Probably
Yeah.
the semis, lost 3 matches in a row, actually lost the rest of the matches, and that's not quite what happened. So I'm gonna say that one for me.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. It's that or Zane. The Burroughs one, I know
Yeah.
it's all revisionist at this point, but at least Chance had beaten Jordan,
Yes.
and I don't know. Jordan is a year older every single year, so that's a thing. I think Zane making the team is so shocking. It's between
Yeah.
Zane and Spencer for me. Um, Man, because think about it. At the beginning of the year, Zane Richards makes the team. Like,
I
man,
agree.
the
I mean,
things
I agree for sure with that sentiment.
um he had only been teched by both Suriano and Gilman, who he beat in straight. I mean, he beat Gilman in 2 straight. He didn't even lose one. It's that to me is a shocking, but this is a very good question. I think all 3 are big surprises. Can you think of a bigger surprise that happened this year that maybe we're not? Um,
I mean, Yanni and Aaron Brooks both losing. Like, if you put that on the line, that Yanni and Aaron Brooks will both lose a match, I think that would have
yeah,
been. I mean, sure, that would be that would be a bigger favorite than So Yanni and Aaron Brooks to go undefeated would be a bigger favorite than what Bo Nickel is this weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Or sorry, both to not go undefeated.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay. What young college wrestlers, if any, do you see making an impact at Olympic team trials next year? I don't know if he's still considered young. This is a short list, first of all. So you got to
Yeah.
kind of stretch.
Very short.
Bo Bartlett is obviously should be considered here. And I'm
He got
not
his hand
smiling.
raised against Nick Lee.
Yeah. So hold on,
The,
what young
the,
college? So he's had 3 years of eligibility. So what
yeah.
do we consider
The,
young?
the first 2 did not count. Just
Which
they
one?
didn't count. Yeah, they did not count. This was his first year.
Okay. One of them didn't count, not 2.
He's
Yeah.
still going to be a
So
4-timer.
listen, at this point, there's not a lot of
Does
you
Keegan
know,
count as young?
No.
Keegan he should count. For
How's
this
he
purpose,
young? He's had 3 years
we're
of eligibility also.
because Bo's young and so is Keegan. Because listen, this is basically they don't want us to talk about like Gable or Aaron Brooks who are just so obviously contending.
Yeah.
Like there's I don't see any freshmen sophomores that are going to contend unless you
Well,
say like
but isn't that the answer to the question, Christian? Because previously, with say a Kyle Snyder or a Yanni, we have had guys who are in their first or second year of eligibility threaten to and or make the team. Do we
mhm,
have any of those? And the answer might be no.
yeah. It's got to be someone in the 141, 149 range.
Yeah.
That's really good. Like, I don't think Meyer is there yet. I don't think he can make
Yeah.
65 kilos.
So like Meyer and Mitchell, I can see them both doing well, but I can't see them upsetting. Well, I don't think either one of them would make 143. Well, I know Mitchell cannot, and I don't think Meyer can, and I don't. Man, Kyle Dake's kind of a step ahead at this point. I mean, can they in the future? Yeah, but can they next year? It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Like, are there any, like, lightweights is an interesting one because, you know, all due respect to Zane, it's like you don't have a Kyle Snyder there or someone that's established. And 125 is going to be 57 is going to be interesting because if Zane doesn't medal, and he very well may, then this weight is once again wide open. But I don't see a young college guy.
Okay, I got one for you.
Hit me.
What about I'll give you two. What about we haven't heard much about him this year because I believe he had injured, but what about Nick Feldman? Now, can he threaten Gable? No, but could he do really well? I think the answer to that is yes. And the second will be Jesse Mendez. You know, we've seen him beat good senior level people. Could he improve over the next year and grow into 65 and do a little bit of damage?
Yeah. He's an interesting. I worry about his size. He is a tweener, I think, internationally. Although maybe not. He's been pretty clear he will never make 133 again.
Yes.
So that's notable. But yeah, he's interesting. But 125, like Richard Figueroa, these are the young 25 pounders you got to be thinking about.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he's ready to contend at that level at this point. So not a lot, actually. Compared to other times. Okay.
Yeah.
From CP
that
Talk.
Shows, that just shows kind of how impressive the certain of those guys were. You know, Kyle Snyder or Yanni, that they were actually threatening to make teams and or making teams because even Kyle Dake didn't really threaten until later. David Taylor didn't threaten until later. Jordan Burroughs didn't make teams until after college. I mean, none of those guys were as good as they are. They weren't threatening.
Yeah, we're maybe a little spoiled. We'll see.
Well, Dake was threatening.
Who was?
Dake. He didn't make it, but college? I would say he was threatening.
No, during 2012. 2012 was during his college career. And
I guess, not Olympics, yeah.
Well, then 13, he would have graduated.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his first crack. So if it's like in the midst of your college career, no. Very few have.
Yeah.
It was also less common to try.
It was less common to try also, yes.
True.
Yeah.
And also now what now these weights have those guys that are legends in them, so it's just harder to get there. Whereas like 7-8 years ago, we were not as good. We weren't winning on the level we are. We didn't have we have so many literal legends, like Mount Rushmore candidates that are in the middle of their career. Makes it tough.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Because even, when I was in college, I mean, I loved to wrestle, so I always did the spring and summer stuff. But there just wasn't a lot of people doing it. Like they weren't even really trying, I would say. They maybe did the U20s. Some people did universities, but it wasn't super well attended. But there were not a lot of guys trying to wrestle on the senior level.
Yes. Okay, question. Ask Ben if he had a chance to redo his Olympic prep and competition. What would he have done differently, if anything?
Saw this one. I would say if there's one thing I could do, I would put myself a few years earlier on graduation where I had one or two more years of international competition where I could have went and wrestled those type of people and got more freestyle experience. Because going international wasn't what we just talked about, it wasn't really that prevalent. I mean, like I made the juniors team in 2004. We didn't even go to Worlds. Like we just didn't go, So my first international tournament was in January, February, March. I can't remember what exact month it was of 2008. That was the first time I went overseas. And so I would kind of redo that and have myself graduate in 2005 or maybe 6. And then I would have a couple of years of international competitions because, it wasn't prevalent then. And I think that makes it harder.
Tactically, let's say, you knew your opponent, you knew you were going to have Fundora.
Yeah.
What would you have done differently in preparation?
So I did beat him in 2010. I think I got impatient in the second. I know I got impatient in the second period, which has rarely happened to me. The 4-minute matches were hard for me, but again, that's not something I can change. And Fundora, he's really good. He's always going to be a hard match for me. Like I'm never going to beat him easy. That's just not happening. So yeah, I mean that was tough as well.
There's patience.
Yeah.
Do you think you were as prepared as could be? It was just in match tactics.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's probably more healthy than
Yeah.
like having to wonder about like, oh man, months of years of preparation, or just like, I just messed up in the moment.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case.
Okay, CP talk tips for wrestling with a sunburn. 4th of July did me dirty. Listen, man, it's just like wrestling. You can't just go out there and start, have a practice for do a 3-hour grind match and train on. You got to build into it. You got to, as Kyle Dake would say, you got to be hardening your solar callus, knowing you got to be peaking for the 4th of July. And as a wrestler, you of all people should know that, and you didn't do that. So I think you just either got to get tough or don't wrestle.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's that one saying. What's the saying? I always forget the exact of it, but it's either you gotta be tough or you gotta be smart. And you weren't smart, so you just gotta get tough.
Yep, exactly right. Also, wear sunscreen if you want to do that. I don't do that, but maybe you should.
Mm-hmm.
What would JD do? I could see JD having a long day outdoors, than having this. I'm sure you've been in this exact situation now. The more I think about it, JD,
I absolutely have. And yeah, if you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
Yep, 100%.
And you better get on top.
Yeah, get on top, brother.
Oh, but no, you're messing up right now, JD, because July's gut wrench season.
That's true.
Then you get gut wrench and there's some sunburn. That sucks.
That's why you got to get on top. That way, if your torso's all sunburned, you don't want to be getting gut wrenched.
It's terrible.
Yeah. All great points. This is what people really need to know. This is what's setting you up in life. Yep. Did Mr. O'Toole ever start working out after Ben exposed his quote buggy whips?
Oh, I just saw Mr. O'Toole at the Friday fireworks in Heartland.
He's kind of jacked maybe it's the ESPN camera, but he kind of looked. He kind of had some big arms.
He's lean. He likes to work out a lot, but you could tell him he's still skinny. He's still got buggy whips, and if we would go to the match, I'd pin him pretty quick. He was actually trying to say that he could beat Keegan until Keegan was a senior in high school in wrestling, and I was chuckling at that one, and Keegan was chuckling at that one also. But he was adamant that was the case.
Wow. Yeah, I love the confidence.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can get one more in here.
No,
this guy agrees. Yeah, I mean, nothing that I think we could just do really quickly. It's 9:30.
Oh, this is a good one. No, let's do this one real quickly.
Oh, American Hero?
Yes. Who is the best American hero? I don't even think there's a question on this one. Jordan Burroughs, John Smith, or Wyatt Hendrickson. This is simple. This man wrestles. He sends it every single time he wrestles, and he's going to represent America in the armed forces. It's Wyatt Hendrickson, of course.
Unless I see Jordan Burroughs and John Smith up in a plane defending this country.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's got to go to the great American hero.
Yes.
Yeah. He doesn't have time to win 6 world and Olympic medals. He's got other things to do.
In our country.
He's like, I'm going to pin Tony Cassiope, and I'm going to get in a plane back to Colorado Springs, but I'm going to fly it. This is Wyatt Hendrickson.
Wait, did that actually happen?
No. He's not a pilot.
Well, how do I know?
You don't know.
You don't know that. He might be. He's in his 3rd year in the Air Force.
I'm going to declare right now, and you can prove me wrong, Wyatt Hendrickson is not right now a pilot. That's what I'm saying.
What?
That's another.
How do you know this for a fact? You cannot know this for a fact.
Define
because I don't think he cannot go up in a plane and fly it right now legally.
What? No, Christian, I freaking took pilot's lessons. I know it took me 20 hours. They were going to let me fly that shit for free. Like, I could go.
That's scary.
For free. I had to pay for the lesson. But by myself, I was going to go fly the plane, and then my instructor left town, and the program got shut down. It was no good. It only took 20 hours. Wyatt Hendrickson surely has done more than 20 hours. You're crazy.
Listen, not everyone in the Air Force is a pilot, Ben. I don't know if there's only so many.
What are they doing there then? What are they doing out there?
That's what we'll figure out on the next show. We'll figure out what
I got inroads at the Air Force. I'm gonna you're going to be wrong. I'm going to get answers on this.
Until we get a selfie of Wyatt Hendrickson flying a plane, a video, it's off. That's my declaration.
I'm going to get
and that's how we're going to end the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back. It's what's the day? Today's Thursday. We'll be back Monday for sure. We got to figure out Ben's schedule.
Next week's easy. After that, that's the problem.
After that, we thought about doing Ben's schedule on the show, but thought no. But we'll be back next Monday. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Monday, July 17th, Fargo Junior Cadet Freestyle. That's one of the best tournaments of the year.
It's a good one.
You'll
see Ben. You'll see JD. You won't see me, but I'll be watching. Have a great, great weekend. Thumbs down to you, Ben. Thumbs up to the pilots. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah.